farm country of Ohio. It's absolutely gorgeous, and we are getting ready for some more Speed Tour SVRA action live here. We just had qualifying for Trans Am. They are heading back into their pits, and we've got some great excitement to come from TA2 tomorrow. So join us for the day when we have another full day of the Speed Tour here from the Vintage Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. It's a really, really great course that's steeped in history. IndyCar come here, NASCAR come here, Xfinity come here, and it's great to have Trans Am here as well as SVRA. And we've got a few Trans Am cars coming up in this one too, including one of the great stock car drivers of the country, or in the history of NASCAR, in Front Row Joe, as well as this man, Scott Borchetta, who will be driving in the number 48, his fabled number now. And Borchetta is on great form here at Mid-Ohio, always seems to go well here. I'm looking forward to seeing who can beat the likes of PJ Hyatt. So they'll come through the pit lane and everybody filing out in order. And we've got what? Probably a good field of about 12, 13 different cars. We've got Toyotas, Mustangs, Porsches. We've even got PJ Hyatt, who is in that Porsche GT3R, who will be in IGT action and had a great run earlier today. And like I said, you've got Front Row Joe out there, the second most well, what I wouldn't say established, but has done as many races, second to Tom Petty. I think Kevin Harvick has now beaten that record, but that's not a bad record, and high capacity there to be in that rarefied air of Mr. Petty and Mr. Harvick. But Joe Nemechek still going strong after all these years, and he will be racing in a Camry, in an all-black Camry. Got a quick glimpse of it as they go through the Big Machine Vodka Spike Cooler's keyhole, just in the distance there, and here they come. And Joe is in that number 8. There you see the Toyota. And I'll be joined in a moment by the one and only Ben Sissel, or Ben Sissel as he's known to his friends. Getting a bit of a tan on. He needs to put some cream on, does Ben Sissel. He's been out there too much. But he will be getting ready for Group 10. I know he enjoys this one. Colin Cohen, also in a Ferrari 458. So we've got a real smorgasbord of American and European cars, modern and somewhat less so, but still, it's going to be a competitive field, this Group 10, and always amazes me how they group them together, but Ben's far more of an authority on that sort of thing than I am, so I will turn to my learned friend and ask him.
It is really weird because a lot of the cars you would think they don't belong. Like you've got Joe Nemechek there in that stock car, more like a late model, I'd call it, but he's Front Row Joe Nemechek, last NASCAR legend. And then you've got the Porsches and the Ferraris with wings and slicks. You've got the TA2 car of Scott Borchetta in that Meissen chassis. So a different mix, but they turn about the same lap time.
And that's what makes it better.
In very different ways.
It's all about parity, yeah?
So we're going to see Front Row Joe and Scott Borchetta there in the front row.
He's got some competition as Borchetta, hasn't he?
Doing really well into Turn 2, the keyhole, the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers Turn 2, but then that Porsche there is going to be able to outbrake them possibly.
So here we go then, and So, Joe Nemechek leading the way. Front row Joe leading the way from Scott Borchetta, Todd in third, Haynes and Cloud. We apologize we missed out for a lap or so there, but you haven't missed anything. And you have been following the action. Me and Ben are back and with you. And I'll let Ben give us a little bit of an intro as to the parity that we're seeing and getting, actually. Pretty close indeed. But Nemechek, you were saying, really enjoying every moment. He's done so much racing in his time.
Yeah, he was with us just last weekend at Indy and on the podium, both races with the stock car group, and just said he's having more fun than he thinks he ever had racing. That's Willie Todd there in that stock car. And the cool thing about this group, Group 10 in the stock car class, is especially after this year, you can buy these stock cars for very inexpensive and go racing, and it may be one of the most fun groups to race in. It's probably our fastest growing group, with Carlos Gann and Scott Holly doing a really good job of promoting it through all the vintage race series. So they do a few races with us, they do a few races with the other series that are just fantastic. So that is always fun. But there's my dad joke right there. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Timothy Haynes in that Porsche Cup car. So that Porsche Cup car, he's now in the twisty bits, which gives him the advantage over these big, heavy 3,800-pound stock cars. But then they have the straightaway. So they're pretty equally yoked here at Mid-Ohio.
Cloud in 5th place at the moment. John Cloud.
No, that's Debbie Cloud.
Debbie Cloud, of course.
Yeah,
sorry, John Cloud further back.
Back, Debbie Cloud. You missed out. We did some trivia last night. She's the trivia queen, but there she is. She loves Carl Edwards, so that's her and her.
Did she win?
Her Affleck. No, she missed out. That's what I'm saying. She's going to have to join us next time.
You don't know quick. That's what it says on her side of her car.
Yeah. From Medina, Ohio, thereabouts. Is this Smokey there somewhere?
Smokey Joe? No, it's Front Row Joe. But you're right, I did see it, but it does look a bit cloudy, doesn't it? Coming into turn 1.
As we're talking about Debbie Cloud and the Mission Foods turn 1. Oh, there's a car off to the side there.
That's why.
And this is her home track.
A lot of cloud cover out there today.
Yeah, and there's John Cloud, 2 behind her, behind that Camaro, in the blue Camaro.
Well, they are expecting storms tomorrow, but I didn't expect this many clouds this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. And between them is Larry Hoopa, who was also with us at Indy in a different car. That car looks like a long-nose Camaro. And this is Ron Thomas. Number 91 there in that Porsche Cup car.
I got to think that we've got full course safety car out for the track. I think that's at turn 1 that the problem was. We've got a car, a recovery truck on track as we look at the 53 of Hoopa. And sure enough, confirmation of the caution.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us on Speed Tour TV at YouTube, I have not done my due diligence with Larry. So that's Todd, right? That's Willie Todd in Group 10, Stock Car 4. But maybe some of the sports car fans out there can tell us what kind of car Larry Hoopa is in, that number 53. I'm not familiar with that car, but it looks like kind of like almost like a funny car road racer with that long hood of a Camaro.
But I don't think the people at Chevrolet Camaro would be very happy with you. That's what it says on my thing, my sheet right here.
It is a Chevy Camaro, but I don't think any part of that car came out of the Chevy factory.
Ah, okay.
See that, and see how it.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It looks like it's It looks like it's made for oval because it's just kind of offset.
Yeah,
there
slightly
a little
offset.
bit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But it's cool. I love having it here.
I'll take it.
And I haven't. Larry, to my knowledge, he's driven 4 different stock cars with us this year.
I tell you what, I'm glad to see that we're getting more and more in SVRA older stock cars that want to get out there and race. Because as Kerry Hitt was telling me earlier, there's a bunch out there that could really quite easily race. And could actually be competitive in TA as well.
Yeah. I'm really missing my friend Mike Slutz from Canton, Ohio, I believe, has the A.J. Foyt-looking Copenhagen car from kind of my era of stock cars. Scott Borchetta has brought out that Marty Robbins Mountain Dew Darrell Waltrip car. So I love that era of stock cars. But There's John Cloud in the TA2. Scott Borchetta there up ahead in that yellow TA2 car, but front row Joe Nemechek. And the cool thing about running these stock cars is a lot of the stock car racers that have retired have now talked to the Bill Elliott's and the Joe Nemecheks of the world who have told them this is a lot of fun, and now they're going to start getting their cars out of the mothballs and come race with us.
And don't we have the original Shake and Bake as well occasionally?
Yes, yeah. Pat Womack has a Ricky Bobby car, as I can't remember his name, but he was with us. He actually has the Fig Newtons decal on his windshield, which I find very funny. And then just saw on Facebook somebody is restoring the Cole Trickle car from Days of Thunder.
Oh, cool. Days of Thunder. Come on, bring it on.
That's, a lot of people in the stock car world kind of poo-poo on that movie, but that's the movie that got me into racing. That is like my first kind of foray into racing.
Bit of a Tom Cruise, man?
8th grade. I love Tom Cruise, yeah, but I just thought that was a good movie. 8th grade Ben watched that movie in the theater, and then that's what made me start to watch NASCAR.
Yep. Fair enough.
So checkered flag, we're going to have to end this session early.
That's a shame. Well, it's not a shame for Joe Nemechek, though. He'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I know that Joe Nemechek is collecting all the medals and trophies from these races. I've been to Scott Borchetta's shop, and he has had –
that's amazing.
They are proudly displayed in his front entry of his shop. So, vintage racing, it still means a lot to these drivers.
So, unfortunately, we finished under caution, but that was because of the car that's parked up that had also thrown some debris and dirt. It looked like a bit of oil down on track, so they'll clear that up. We've still got a few more races left today. Ben Sissel and Jonathan Green, we apologize for the slight technical gremlins we had, but we're back with you, and we will be bringing you all the action. And there he is. Front row Joe gives us the sign. Wave to the crowd and the marshals.
And one cool thing about if you come to one of these events, we're at the Mid-Ohio Vintage Grand Prix, you can sign up to ride in the pace car. So we just had a shot there of James in that Honda Civic pace car with passengers.
It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, no, just tell us you're interested, and we're going to put you in the pace car
All
if
right,
we can.
Eric, if you're listening, chance to get in the pace car, call up. Answers on a postcard. If you're in the Ohio area. Or Illinois, Michigan, whichever.
So we were in Indianapolis last weekend with an all-vintage. We're in a mixed Trans Am FR-F4 vintage this weekend. Next weekend, we go to Road America for Trans Am with NASCAR. Living the dream.
Absolutely. Road America next week, and we do. I mean, that's what I love about what Tony Perella's set up here is the iconic circuits. I mean, Watkins Glen,
VIR, Circuit of the Americas, your home track. But, there's something about Mid-Ohio. When I release the schedule every year and say, give us your top 5, Mid-Ohio is almost always in the top 5.
You've set off a fireball here. I've got people calling in from all over the world. How do I call in for my pace car ride? So you'll have to put your personal phone number out there, Ben. No, here's the result. Before you give that out, Joe Nemechek, Scott Borchetta, Timothy Haynes, Debbie Cloud on Cloud 9 because she was ahead of John Cloud, her husband, Larry Hoopo in 5th place, John Cloud in 6th place, and Storm's coming tomorrow, but the Clouds on top of things today. Ron Thomas 7th, Brian Pritchard 8th, Scott Dolphy in 9th, and PJ Hyatt in 10th position. So who do they call then? Get their pace car ride.
Actually, you show up to the tracks, you go to our grid, and Tom, our grid person, will set it up.
Tom. Okay. All right, well, we'll take a short break here from Mid-Ohio. Sun coming out again. Stay with us. More SVRA action coming from the Speed Tour after this.